The story begins deep in the unexplored regions of space, a place where stars burned brightly yet distances between them seemed endless. This area was known among the interstellar coalition as a remote and mysterious sector, often avoided by ordinary fleets because of its unpredictable gravitational anomalies and dangerous asteroid belts. However, to the most ambitious and curious explorers, this region held the promise of discovery beyond imagination. Among those explorers was a specialized alien research team, highly trained and equipped with the most advanced technology their civilization had to offer. Their lives had been spent studying, observing and analyzing space phenomena, yet nothing had prepared them for the anomaly they were about to find. The team had been monitoring subtle irregularities in energy patterns across this sector for months. Their scanners, far more sensitive than anything used in standard fleet operations, had detected a faint but consistent signal that did not match any known energy source. It was not a natural phenomenon like a star or a pulsar, nor did it match any of the known ship signatures in the galaxy. It was something else, something massive, ancient, and powerful. The discovery sparked excitement in the team, as they realized they might be the first to uncover something extraordinary. Their mission immediately shifted from routine observation to active pursuit of the unknown. Every member of the team felt a mixture of anticipation and pride. This was the kind of discovery that could define careers, rewrite knowledge about the universe, and elevate their civilization's standing among the stars. The closer they moved toward the source of the signal, the more their sensors revealed about its nature. The reading suggested an enormous vessel, far larger and more complex than anything they had previously encountered. It wasn't just a ship. It was a Class 15 Deathworld ship, a classification that implied unimaginable strength, extreme resilience, and advanced technology that had long been considered lost or purely theoretical. According to their historical data, ships of this class were capable of surviving environments that could obliterate lesser vessels, including intense radiation fields, planetary bombardments, and gravitational distortions that would crush normal structures. The thought of encountering such a ship sent waves of both fear and exhilaration through the team. It was the ultimate prize for any explorer, a vessel that promised unmatched knowledge, technology, and power. The team's commander, a veteran of countless expeditions, immediately called for a full analysis of the ship's energy signature. The data was complex, difficult to interpret, but undeniably real. No errors, no anomalies caused by their equipment. This was a genuine Class 15 Deathworld ship. The mere thought of it challenged their understanding of space engineering. How had such a vessel survived for so long without detection? Who had built it, and why had it been abandoned in such a remote region? Each question raised new possibilities and fueled the team's ambition. They began to outline plans to approach the ship, considering every potential danger: automated defense systems, structural traps, environmental hazards. Even with all their preparation, the team knew that exploring a ship of this magnitude could be extremely risky, perhaps even deadly, but the opportunity was too significant to ignore. Excitement within the research team grew as they prepared for the journey. Every member had a specific role, from navigation to engineering to tactical oversight, ensuring that they could handle anything the Deathworld ship might present. Their communication channels buzzed with strategy discussions, calculations, and contingency plans. There was a tangible energy in the air, the kind that only comes when humans or aliens face the brink of history-making discovery. The ship represented the pinnacle of achievement for anyone involved in space exploration, a chance to uncover technologies and knowledge that could propel their civilization centuries ahead in understanding. For them, this was not merely a mission, it was a defining moment, a step into the unknown that could change the balance of power in the galaxy. As the team approached the coordinates of the signal, anticipation turned to awe. Even at a distance, the presence of the Deathworld ship was overwhelming. It dwarfed anything they had seen before, its immense structure stretching across kilometers of space, built in a way that combined raw strength with technological elegance. The ship radiated energy in a pattern that suggested immense internal power, engines that could traverse galaxies, and systems designed to survive the harshest environments. Observing it, the team felt a mixture of admiration and anxiety. This was not a simple wreck or derelict vessel. It was a fortress in space, silent yet commanding. Their imaginations ran wild with what they might find inside: artifacts of ancient civilizations, advanced weapon systems, knowledge of technologies beyond comprehension. The research team's lead scientist took a moment to explain to the crew the significance of what they had found. A Class 15 Deathworld ship was not just a tool, it was a statement of power and survival. Ships like these were legendary, often spoken of in stories and historical texts but rarely seen, if ever. Their design required resources and engineering skills that even the most advanced civilizations struggled to achieve. This discovery meant that someone, somewhere, had managed to create something that could withstand almost any known threat in the universe. It was both a marvel and a mystery. Understanding even a fraction of its capabilities could change the course of their civilization's technological progress. With every passing moment, the research team became more determined. They coordinated maneuvers to bring their smaller fleet safely into observation range while maintaining stealth and caution. They knew that they could not afford mistakes. The Deathworld ship might have automated defenses, or it could be a trap left by unknown forces. Despite these risks, there was an undeniable sense of destiny. The aliens felt that they had been chosen by circumstance to make this discovery first, to claim the ship and unlock its secrets. The tension was palpable, a mix of fear and ambition that drove every decision, every calculation, every adjustment to their course. They were venturing into a territory where history had not yet been written, and they were ready to leave their mark. As they drew closer, the alien crew began speculating on the implications of controlling such a vessel. The ship's technology could revolutionize travel, combat, and energy production. It could offer insights into surviving hostile planets, mastering weapon systems, or even tapping into energy sources that their civilization had only theorized. The possibilities were endless and the stakes were enormous. Each member of the team felt the weight of responsibility. They were not just exploring for themselves but for their civilization, carrying the hopes, ambitions, and prestige of countless generations. The Deathworld ship was more than an object. It was a key to the future, and they were at the threshold of seizing it. The narrative tension rose as the team prepared for final approach. Every sensor reading, every system check, and every tactical assessment reinforced the reality that they were on the verge of a historic encounter. Excitement mingled with nerves. The crew was aware that such discoveries were rare and fleeting. The universe did not easily reveal its most powerful secrets. They had trained for decades for moments like this, and yet the enormity of what lay ahead filled them with awe. It was a defining moment of exploration, where courage, intellect, and careful planning would determine success or failure. The Deathworld ship, silent and massive, waited as if aware of their approach, a challenge that promised glory to whoever could claim it. Unknown to the alien team, this was not a simple matter of being first or being careful. The universe, vast and unpredictable, often had ways of surprising those who believed they were in control. While the aliens meticulously calculated every risk and strategized for every contingency, other forces driven by determination, intuition, and perhaps audacity were already in motion. The stage was set for a race that would test not just skill and technology, but the very nature of courage, adaptability, and determination. What the aliens did not yet realize was that discovery was not the only challenge ahead. There was someone else, someone unexpected, who had arrived faster, smarter, and with a resolve that would leave the first explorers astonished. And so, the first part of the story closes on this moment of suspense. A vast, silent, and legendary ship in the remote darkness of space, the alien team ready to claim it, unaware that the universe had already placed another contender in their path. The anticipation, the ambition, and the mystery all build to a moment that will soon redefine everything they thought they knew about exploration, competition, and the humans they had yet to encounter. As the alien research team closed in on the coordinates of the legendary Class 15 Deathworld ship, the mood aboard their fleet shifted from excitement to intense focus. They had come so far and meticulously planned every step of this mission, yet the final approach brought a mix of anticipation and tension that no simulations could replicate. Every sensor ping, every shift in the energy signature, every faint ripple in the cosmic radiation demanded their full attention. They knew that at this stage, even the smallest mistake could jeopardize the entire mission. The ship was not only massive and powerful, but it was also ancient, possibly designed with unknown technology or even traps that could challenge the most experienced crews in the galaxy. The aliens were determined, but a small, quiet unease began to ripple through the team. From the bridge, the fleet commander meticulously coordinated their maneuvers. Using precise calculations, they adjusted trajectories to account for gravitational anomalies, debris fields, and unknown energy sources. The crew worked like a well-oiled machine, executing each command with precision. This mission was more than exploration. It was a test of skill, strategy, and endurance. Every member knew that history would remember the first species to claim such a powerful vessel. The aliens believed they were the first, fully confident in their ability to outpace any potential competitors. Their calculations, their technology, and their experience had convinced them that the ship would be theirs alone. Every strategy session, every simulation, and every tactical debate reinforced this certainty. Yet while the aliens were focused on being the first to reach the Deathworld ship, they were unaware that another force was already on the move. Humans, a species often underestimated by interstellar civilizations, had also detected the same signal. Unlike the aliens, humans relied not only on technology but on instinct, intuition, and sheer daring. Their exploration style was unconventional, combining methodical planning with bold improvisation. They did not wait for perfect data or flawless calculations. They acted quickly, adapting as they moved through the unknown. This allowed them to cover vast distances faster than the alien fleet had anticipated. The humans' speed and ingenuity were not obvious at first glance, but they were already closing in on the same target. The aliens, confident in their calculations, believed that the distance they had maintained and the speed of their fleet ensured their priority over the Deathworld ship. They communicated with each other about hypothetical scenarios, what defenses the ship might have, how to secure the vessel without causing damage, and how to analyze the technology once aboard. Each conversation reinforced the idea that they were in complete control of the mission. They imagined the glory, the scientific knowledge, and the technological advantage that would be theirs once the ship was theirs to study. For them, this was more than a discovery. It was a triumph, a symbol of their civilization's intelligence and capability. As the fleet approached closer, their sensors began picking up faint disturbances in the surrounding space. The energy readings were subtle, almost imperceptible, but they hinted at the presence of another craft nearby. At first, the team assumed it was a minor anomaly, perhaps a rogue asteroid or a remnant of cosmic debris. But as the readings intensified, a sense of unease began to spread among the more experienced officers. They started to consider the possibility of another intelligent presence. This was not supposed to happen. They had checked their charts, scanned the sector, and confirmed that no other species had been detected in the region. Yet the evidence suggested otherwise. The aliens debated their options, weighing risk against opportunity. Engaging another unknown fleet could be dangerous, but hesitation could allow them to lose the prize they had traveled so far to claim. The commander, experienced and cautious, chose to proceed carefully, ordering the fleet to maintain a steady approach while scanning for potential threats. They had no idea that the threat was not an aggressive fleet but humans, a species with unpredictable tactics and a reputation for audacity that few civilizations had fully grasped. The humans were already adapting to the same data, adjusting their course and speed, and using their unique understanding of the unknown to gain an advantage. From the human perspective, the mission was straightforward. Though far from simple, they had detected an unusual energy pattern, analyzed its source, and identified its immense potential. For the humans, the goal was not just to reach the Deathworld ship first, but to secure it with speed and efficiency. Their approach relied on calculated risks, trusting in their skills and ability to respond to unexpected situations. Unlike the aliens, humans were not limited by rigid protocols or centuries-old doctrines. They were flexible, innovative, and relentless. Every decision they made was designed to maximize speed while minimizing risk, using technology creatively rather than relying solely on brute force or overwhelming numbers. As both parties closed in on the ship, the tension in space grew. The alien fleet maintained strict formations, scanners constantly sweeping for any sign of danger, every crew member alert to the slightest anomaly. They discussed strategies to assert dominance, imagining scenarios where they might need to negotiate, intimidate, or even battle for control of the Deathworld ship. Their confidence remained high, bolstered by their advanced technology and disciplined approach. They could not yet see the humans, but they felt a subtle shift in the energy patterns that hinted at another intelligent presence. Meanwhile, the humans used stealth and cunning to approach the ship without revealing their exact position. They moved quickly, taking advantage of gaps in the alien fleet's awareness and exploiting weaknesses in the sensors. The aliens had not anticipated this level of precision and adaptability. Humans were solving problems in real time, making split-second decisions that were almost impossible to predict. Every maneuver brought them closer to the Deathworld ship, and with each passing moment, the aliens' assumption that they would be the first to reach it was being quietly undermined. The alien crew began to experience doubt. What if there was another intelligent species nearby? Could the Deathworld ship already be claimed by someone else? These thoughts were initially dismissed as paranoia, but as subtle evidence accumulated, the fear became harder to ignore. The fleet commander ordered further scans, trying to confirm what they sensed. The results were ambiguous but concerning. The presence of another intelligent force was likely, yet their sensors could not provide a clear picture. This uncertainty created tension within the team, forcing them to balance caution with urgency. They had come too far to turn back, yet moving too quickly could be dangerous if another species was already in play. As the aliens approached the final sector, the story of their mission shifted from confidence to careful anticipation. They were still determined, but the awareness of competition had injected a new layer of complexity into the operation. The Deathworld ship was no longer just a prize to be studied. It had become a point of contest. Every maneuver, every calculation, every decision carried the weight of potential conflict. The aliens had trained for centuries for challenges in exploration and conquest. Yet the possibility of a rival arriving first was a scenario they had not fully considered. At the same time, humans were closing the distance. Their unique combination of speed, daring, and intelligence allowed them to anticipate potential obstacles before the aliens even detected them. They were not just following the signal, they were adapting dynamically to the environment, using instincts and reasoning that went beyond technological predictions. Each adjustment brought them closer to the ship, while keeping the aliens unaware of their proximity. This was a classic example of human ingenuity and fearlessness, qualities that often allowed them to achieve what other civilizations considered impossible. By the time both parties reached the edge of the sector, the tension had reached its peak. The aliens believed they were still ahead, though a creeping doubt had begun to take root. They prepared for the final approach, setting protocols for securing the Deathworld ship, running simulations, and preparing contingencies. They did not yet realize that humans had already solved some of the most critical problems: navigation, energy analysis, and even approach strategy, faster and more efficiently than they could. The stage was set for a confrontation, but one side had arrived earlier, unseen, unanticipated, and ready to act with decisiveness. The story of this part of the mission is about the race itself, the collision of preparation, ambition, and instinct. It is about two species approaching the same objective with very different philosophies. The aliens relied on technology, discipline, and experience, trusting that careful calculation would ensure their victory. Humans, on the other hand, relied on intuition, adaptability, and boldness, moving faster than anyone expected. The universe, vast and unpredictable, had created a scenario in which preparation alone could not guarantee success. Success would go to those who combined skill with daring, calculation with instinct, and foresight with action. And so, as the Deathworld ship loomed ahead, the alien fleet prepared to claim what they believed was theirs by right of discovery. Little did they know, humans were already ahead, quietly and efficiently securing the vessel. The tension, the anticipation, and the stakes had never been higher. The race for one of the galaxy's most legendary ships was reaching its climax, and only one side would claim victory first. The aliens' confidence, though strong, was about to be tested in ways they could not yet imagine. As the audacious humans quietly closed the final distance, ready to demonstrate that speed, ingenuity, and courage could rival even the most disciplined and advanced civilizations. When the alien fleet finally reached the coordinates of the Class 15 Deathworld ship, the scene before them was both astonishing and incomprehensible. Their sensors had indicated the presence of a massive vessel, but nothing could have prepared them for the reality of what they saw. The ship was not floating in the void as a silent relic, abandoned and waiting. Instead, it was fully operational, controlled and moving with a precision that defied their expectations. Their initial calculations, which had assumed the ship would be unclaimed, were instantly obsolete. Every crew member on the alien fleet's ships felt a mix of shock, disbelief, and rising panic. They had believed themselves to be the first, the privileged discoverers of one of the galaxy's most legendary vessels, and now they were confronted with a reality that challenged everything they thought they knew. From the bridge of the alien flagship, the commander stared at the viewscreen in disbelief. The massive Deathworld ship had been claimed, secured, and was clearly under the control of another intelligent force. There were signs of life, energy emissions, and subtle maneuvers indicating that the humans aboard were not just passive observers, they were masters of the vessel. The aliens' sophisticated scanners could pick up every detail: the deployment of energy shields, the activation of internal systems, and the movement of small human craft around the ship. Every observation contradicted their assumptions. The humans were not only present, they were in control. As the alien fleet analyzed the situation, they tried to rationalize what they were seeing. Could this be a decoy? Had their sensors malfunctioned? Were these humans somehow exploiting technology that was centuries ahead of their understanding? The team's scientists and tactical officers frantically ran simulations, recalculated probabilities, and reviewed every piece of data, but none of it offered a satisfactory explanation. The human actions were deliberate, precise, and consistent with someone who fully understood the ship's systems. Every attempt to predict their next move ended in failure. The alien team realized that they were dealing with a species that operated under a mindset and skill set vastly different from their own. The humans themselves were fully aware of the alien fleet's presence. Using advanced stealth techniques and quick-thinking strategies, they had concealed their approach until the last possible moment. From their perspective, securing the Deathworld ship was not just about claiming a vessel. It was about ensuring that it did not fall into the wrong hands. Humans had always excelled in turning disadvantage into advantage, and this mission was no different. They anticipated possible interference, prepared for rapid maneuvers, and executed their plans with a combination of daring and intelligence that left the aliens struggling to keep up. Every action they took was calculated to maximize efficiency and minimize risk, demonstrating a level of foresight and adaptability that the alien team had underestimated. As the first real visual confirmation of the humans aboard the Deathworld ship appeared on their scanners, the alien team could barely believe their eyes. The humans were not only operational, they were already engaging in exploratory activities, analyzing the ship's systems, and even beginning to access key areas that the aliens had hoped to study first. The aliens had anticipated hesitation, caution, or even fear from any first-time explorers, but the humans exhibited none of these traits. They moved confidently, decisively, and with a clear understanding of the ship's scale and capabilities. This display of control and competence immediately challenged the aliens' perception of superiority. Panic began to spread among the more senior officers of the alien fleet. How could this species, relatively new to galactic exploration compared to their long-established civilization, exhibit such mastery? Their protocols and strategies designed to handle threats and secure valuable resources suddenly seemed inadequate. The aliens were forced to confront a reality they had never prepared for. Humans were not just a potential competitor. They were formidable, unpredictable, and capable of outmaneuvering even the most advanced fleets. The feeling of confidence that had carried them through months of preparation was replaced by tension, uncertainty, and a growing sense of urgency. The alien commander called an emergency meeting with his senior officers. They debated options, weighing the risk of confrontation against the possibility of negotiation or strategic withdrawal. Engaging directly with the humans seemed risky. Their tactics were unconventional and difficult to predict. Attempting to bypass or outflank them could result in disaster. Yet retreating without attempting to claim the ship would be a blow to their prestige and a failure they could not accept. Every scenario carried its own dangers, and none offered a clear solution. The commander's mind raced, trying to reconcile centuries of training and doctrine with the unprecedented situation before him. Meanwhile, the humans continued to secure the Deathworld ship with calm efficiency. They moved through corridors, accessed critical systems, and began mapping the vessel in ways that reflected both curiosity and tactical awareness. They were aware of the alien fleet, But they did not panic or rush. Instead, they relied on adaptability, using their knowledge, intuition, and creativity to maintain control. They deployed drones, automated systems, and strategic energy shields, all while ensuring that they remained ready for any interference. The aliens watched, fascinated and increasingly alarmed, as humans demonstrated that raw intelligence, courage, and adaptability could rival centuries of technological advancement. The aliens' attempts to approach or interact with the ship were met with subtle but effective resistance. Every maneuver they tried was countered with precision, often before they could fully execute it. It became clear that the humans were not only reacting to the aliens, they were anticipating them. This realization was shocking. The aliens had long considered their technology, experience, and strategic thinking to be unmatched, but humans were proving that unconventional methods, adaptability, and bold decision-making could overcome even the most advanced systems. Every failed attempt by the aliens reinforced their growing respect and fear of this unexpected competitor. As minutes stretched into hours, the tension escalated further. The alien fleet was caught in a state of limbo, too close to retreat without losing face, too cautious to risk direct engagement, and too uncertain to proceed confidently. Meanwhile, humans maintained control of the Deathworld ship, moving seamlessly through its systems, accessing vital functions, and consolidating their position. The aliens could only observe, recalibrate, and attempt to predict a species whose behavior defied logic according to their traditional understanding of intelligent life. The entire situation challenged the aliens' assumptions about superiority, strategy, and the nature of competition in the galaxy. The human advantage was not just in speed or technology, it was in approach, mindset, and adaptability. Unlike the alien fleet, humans did not rely solely on brute force or rigid protocols. They combined intelligence with intuition, planning with improvisation, and courage with careful observation. They were willing to take calculated risks that the aliens could not comprehend, and they executed these risks with precision. For the aliens, this was both terrifying and awe-inspiring. They were witnessing firsthand a species that did not fit into their established categories of galactic power, a species that operated according to rules and principles entirely their own. By the time the alien fleet realized the full extent of human control over the Deathworld ship, their initial shock had transformed into a mix of strategic concern and reluctant admiration. The humans were not only first, they were fully operational, fully aware, and fully in control. Every expectation the aliens had held was overturned. They had prepared for obstacles, challenges, and even potential hostility, but they had not anticipated the audacity, ingenuity, and skill of humans. It was a lesson in humility and a stark reminder that confidence, no matter how well-founded, could be upended by speed, creativity, and determination. At the core of this encounter was the human ability to act decisively under pressure. They had seized an opportunity that the aliens believed was theirs by right, demonstrating that the universe often rewards initiative and courage over mere preparation. The aliens, despite their advanced technology and experience, found themselves outpaced and outmaneuvered. Every action they attempted to regain advantage was met with a combination of human foresight, adaptability, and timing. This encounter forced the aliens to reconsider not only their immediate strategy but also their long-held beliefs about the limits of human capability. The tension in space reached a new level as the alien fleet struggled to understand what they were witnessing. The Class 15 Deathworld ship, a marvel of technology and legend among civilizations, was fully under human control, and the aliens had no idea how to respond. Every approach they tried, every maneuver they attempted was anticipated and countered by the humans. It became increasingly clear that this was not going to be a simple mission of study or exploration. Humans were not passive observers, they were masters of the vessel, quick-thinking and fiercely intelligent. The aliens had assumed that the ship's sheer power would give them leverage, that their experience and superior technology would ensure victory. But reality was proving them wrong. The first attempts to engage with the humans were cautious. The alien fleet moved closer, deploying scanning arrays and sending small probes to gather more information. They attempted to analyze how the humans were controlling the ship, how they managed energy distribution, and how they accessed the vessel's systems. But every probe was met with subtle interference or unexpected maneuvers. The humans seemed to anticipate the aliens' every move, countering with efficiency that left the aliens astonished. It was not aggression, exactly, but a demonstration of skill and control so complete that the alien team could only watch in a mix of awe and frustration. Every action the aliens considered became a lesson in human unpredictability. As the hours passed, the alien crew began to feel the pressure. Their confidence, built over decades of preparation and calculation, began to crumble under the reality of human ingenuity. They had trained for all conceivable scenarios, practiced countless strategies, and relied on their advanced sensors and tactical systems. Yet the humans operated in a way that seemed to defy logic. They were not following predictable patterns, and they were not limited by centuries-old doctrine or conventional approaches. They were improvising, adapting, and making split-second decisions with remarkable precision. The alien team realized that they were not just competing with a species, they were competing with a force of creativity, intelligence, and courage that they had never experienced. The human strategy was simple yet effective. They maintained a balance between caution and boldness, using the Deathworld ship's advanced systems to their advantage while staying aware of the alien fleet's position. They deployed drones to monitor external threats, activated defensive shields, and began exploring and understanding the vessel's internal systems. But all of this was done with a speed and efficiency that left the aliens struggling to keep up. Every attempt by the alien fleet to assert control was met with rapid adaptation. If the aliens tried to interfere with the ship's operations, the humans responded immediately. If they attempted to probe for weaknesses, humans redirected or concealed critical systems. The aliens were witnessing firsthand how humans could combine intelligence, ingenuity, and daring to neutralize even the most overwhelming technological advantage. The alien fleet's frustration grew as their strategies failed repeatedly. They had expected hesitation, mistakes, or inefficiency on the humans' part, but found none. Instead, every move the humans made reinforced their control over the Deathworld ship. The aliens began discussing more aggressive options, deploying full-force attacks, attempting to board the ship, or even disabling human systems with energy pulses. But these plans were risky, and the humans' proactive and adaptable approach made every option dangerous. The aliens realized that brute force alone would not secure the ship. They were facing opponents who could outthink and outmaneuver them, turning their technological superiority into a less decisive factor. Meanwhile, the humans continued to solidify their control. They explored the ship, learning its systems, mapping energy conduits, and preparing for any potential threat. But they did all of this without hesitation or panic. Their confidence was rooted in adaptability. They could respond to any situation because they were not bound by rigid procedures. Every small decision, how to allocate power, how to maneuver internal systems, how to maintain situational awareness, was made with careful thought and precise timing. The aliens watched in a mixture of amazement and fear as humans demonstrated that speed, flexibility, and intelligence could rival the most advanced technology in the galaxy. The alien commander called for another strategic meeting. The tone of the discussion had shifted from confidence to anxiety. Officers debated every possible scenario: negotiation, retreat, or confrontation. Each option seemed fraught with danger, and yet the Deathworld ship remained fully under human control. The aliens realized that the humans were not just physically controlling the vessel. They were thinking strategically, acting with foresight, and adapting faster than the aliens could predict. It was a level of skill and intelligence that challenged their assumptions about what was possible. Every plan they formulated seemed to be anticipated and countered by the humans before it could be executed. Tension among the alien crew reached its peak when it became clear that humans were actively using the ship to explore and prepare for future operations. The aliens had expected a slow, cautious approach from whoever first claimed the vessel. Instead, humans had turned the ship into a functional, operational platform almost immediately. They were deploying small crafts, analyzing energy outputs, and experimenting with defensive maneuvers, all while remaining alert to the alien fleet's presence. The aliens were forced into a defensive posture, unable to act decisively because every move they considered could be countered. It was a frustrating, humbling experience. Throughout this struggle, the humans maintained calm and clarity. Their decisions were informed by observation, intuition, and quick reasoning. They did not act recklessly, yet they were not bound by fear or hesitation. Every action was deliberate, every countermeasure precise, and every adjustment strategic. In contrast, the aliens' reliance on protocols and technology created delays and uncertainty. They had assumed that careful planning and advanced systems would guarantee success. But humans had introduced a variable they could not control: creativity, courage, and adaptability in real time. The alien fleet attempted to communicate, sending signals to demand cooperation or warn humans to yield. But the humans ignored these signals, prioritizing control of the ship over diplomatic protocol. They anticipated potential responses, calculated the safest approaches, and continued to operate the vessel efficiently. Each interaction highlighted the gap between expectation and reality. The aliens had believed that authority and technology would compel compliance, but humans were operating independently, confidently, and with complete situational awareness. As hours turned into a full day, the aliens' frustration grew. Every maneuver they attempted to regain control or assert dominance over the ship was met with swift adaptation by the humans. The alien fleet began to realize that this was not just a contest of technology or speed. It was a contest of strategy, ingenuity, and the ability to act decisively under pressure. The humans were demonstrating that even a species with less historical experience in galactic conquest could outperform more advanced civilizations when creativity and adaptability were applied effectively. The experience left the alien officers both impressed and alarmed. They had underestimated the humans, assuming that careful planning, advanced sensors, and superior technology would be enough to secure the Deathworld ship. Yet humans had turned assumptions on their head. They had shown that adaptability, courage, and quick thinking could overcome rigid preparation and even superior firepower. For the aliens, the lesson was clear. Victory in space was not just about strength or planning. It was about innovation, intuition, and the willingness to take calculated risks. By the end of this phase, the alien fleet recognized that their original mission had failed. The humans controlled the Deathworld ship, had explored its systems, and were ready for any challenge. The aliens had been outmaneuvered, outthought, and outpaced. The encounter had become not just a competition for a vessel, but a study in the limits of assumptions, expectations, and traditional strategies. They had encountered a species whose approach defied logic according to their experience, forcing them to reconsider everything they believed about power, strategy, and the nature of competition in the galaxy. The story of this part of the encounter is defined by the clash of skill, intelligence, and approach. The aliens relied on careful calculation, rigid strategy, and technological superiority, but humans relied on courage, adaptability, and intuition. The Deathworld ship, once the ultimate prize, had become a symbol of human ingenuity and audacity. The aliens were learning a harsh but important lesson. In the vast, unpredictable universe, assumptions of supremacy could be challenged by speed, creativity, and daring action. The humans had claimed not only the vessel, but also a lasting impression on the alien civilization, a reminder that sometimes the unexpected can outmatch even the most prepared and advanced forces. The final stage of this extraordinary encounter unfolded with a tension that could almost be felt across the void of space. The alien fleet, once confident and assured of victory, was now forced into a reluctant retreat. The Class 15 Deathworld ship, a vessel of unimaginable power and legend, remained firmly under human control. The humans had not only arrived first, but they had also demonstrated mastery over the ship, using its advanced systems with efficiency, creativity, and insight that left the aliens both stunned and humbled. For the first time in generations, these experienced explorers, tacticians, and strategists were confronted with a species that defied all their assumptions about superiority and control. The stage was set for a profound realization. The humans were not merely survivors in this race. They were masters of opportunity. As the alien fleet slowly withdrew to a safe distance, there was a noticeable shift in atmosphere aboard their ships. Confidence had been replaced by a mix of awe, frustration, and cautious respect. Officers who had spent decades in preparation, relying on advanced technology, careful strategy, and historical knowledge, were forced to accept that humans were operating on a level they could not fully understand. They watched as humans continued to explore the Deathworld ship, deploy drones, stabilize internal systems, and even access advanced weaponry and defensive mechanisms without hesitation. Every movement was deliberate, measured, and precise, a perfect combination of courage and intelligence. It became clear that the humans had a unique advantage, the ability to improvise and adapt in ways the aliens could not predict. The humans themselves were fully aware of the alien fleet's presence, but they showed no fear. Instead, they demonstrated patience and strategy. They knew the aliens could observe their actions, and they used this to their advantage, reinforcing the notion that humans were not only capable, but also fearless in the face of overwhelming opposition. Their focus was not on confrontation, it was on understanding and mastering the ship, securing it in a way that ensured no force could easily challenge their claim. This calm, calculated approach emphasized a key human strength, the ability to combine boldness with careful planning, intuition with methodical action, and courage with efficiency. As the aliens regrouped and retreated, discussions aboard their ships became tense and reflective. Officers debated what had gone wrong, why their carefully crafted plans had failed, and how they had been outmaneuvered by a species they had underestimated. There was no single answer, only a growing acknowledgement that humans were unpredictable, resourceful, and fearless. The aliens had assumed that technology, experience, and structured strategy were sufficient to guarantee success, but humans had proven otherwise. Every attempt by the aliens to anticipate human behavior had failed, because humans did not operate within the predictable patterns expected by other civilizations. They acted independently, decisively, and with a foresight that could not be quantified in conventional terms. On the human side, the victory was quiet but profound. There was no celebration in the traditional sense, only a deep awareness of what had been achieved. Securing the Class 15 Deathworld ship was not just a physical accomplishment, it was a symbolic triumph. Humans had reached further, acted faster, and adapted better than a civilization that had long dominated space exploration. The implications of this victory were immense. Knowledge, technology, and strategic advantage had been gained, but more importantly, a statement had been made. Humans could not be underestimated, and their audacity could achieve what many considered impossible. The encounter would resonate across the galaxy, marking a turning point in how civilizations perceived human capability. The alien fleet, now observing from a distance, could only speculate on the humans' next moves. Every action taken by humans reinforced the impression that they were not just opportunistic, but also capable of long-term strategic thinking. They stabilized the ship's internal systems, conducted scans, and began to map its energy flows and defensive mechanisms. The aliens realized that even if they returned later with reinforcements or superior technology, reclaiming the vessel would not be easy. Humans had not only arrived first, they had effectively secured their advantage through intelligence, adaptability, and strategic thinking. This lesson was humbling. Speed and creativity could outweigh experience and brute technological power. As time passed, the aliens gradually withdrew from the immediate vicinity of the Deathworld ship, returning to their controlled space to regroup and reassess. They carried with them a newfound respect for the humans and an acute awareness of the limits of their assumptions. For centuries, they had relied on their own technology, experience, and structured planning as the ultimate measures of superiority. Yet here, in the deep void of unexplored space, humans had demonstrated that intelligence, adaptability, and courage were equally, if not more, important. The alien fleet's retreat was not just a tactical decision. It was a recognition that they had encountered a force they could not easily overcome or predict. In the days that followed, the Deathworld ship became a center of human activity. Scientists, engineers, and explorers worked together to understand and control its systems, uncovering technologies that had long been considered lost or theoretical. They accessed defensive systems, studied energy distribution, and began exploring the potential of the vessel in ways that maximized both safety and efficiency. Every decision they made reflected a combination of boldness, careful observation, and adaptability, ensuring that the ship could be used safely and effectively. The humans' approach demonstrated an extraordinary blend of curiosity, intelligence, and tactical awareness. The alien civilization, meanwhile, recorded the encounter with humans as a historic lesson. The story spread throughout their networks and command centers. A species thought to be less advanced had acted with precision, courage, and ingenuity that surpassed centuries of preparation. The aliens began to reconsider their understanding of the galaxy, acknowledging that dominance could not be assumed based on history, technology, or numbers alone. Humans had shown that determination, intelligence, and adaptability could overcome even the most prepared and advanced civilizations. The encounter would shape their strategies, communications, and planning for generations, as they tried to anticipate how humans might act in future encounters. From a broader perspective, the victory marked a turning point in interstellar relations. Humans had not only claimed the ship but had done so in a manner that showcased their abilities to the galaxy. It was an unspoken warning to all other civilizations. Humans were not to be underestimated. Their audacity, speed, and intelligence were unmatched in certain situations, and their adaptability made them unpredictable opponents. The Deathworld ship became more than a technological marvel. It became a symbol of human courage, strategy, and resourcefulness. The aliens, despite their initial confidence, had to acknowledge that humans operated on a different level, one that defied expectation and challenged conventional wisdom. The encounter also left an enduring impression on human explorers. They understood that their success was not just due to technology, but also to their mindset, the willingness to act decisively, to adapt quickly, and to embrace risk while remaining strategic. They had turned an unprecedented opportunity into a historic achievement, proving that a combination of intelligence, courage, and adaptability could achieve what brute force or rigid planning could not. The humans' mastery of the Deathworld ship reflected both their ingenuity and their capacity to act boldly in moments that demanded it. For the alien civilization, the lessons were clear. Overconfidence, reliance on rigid protocols, and underestimating a seemingly less advanced species could lead to unexpected failure. Humans had introduced a variable that could not be predicted. Using conventional models, creativity, adaptability, and the courage to act decisively. Every officer and strategist in the alien fleet would carry this lesson forward, re-evaluating their assumptions and strategies in light of what they had witnessed. The story of humans claiming the Class 15 Deathworld ship became a cautionary tale, a reminder that even the most prepared civilizations could be outpaced by audacity and intelligence. In the end, the encounter concluded not with conflict but with recognition. Humans had secured their prize, operated with skill, and demonstrated that determination and adaptability could achieve what experience alone could not. The aliens, retreating and reflecting, were forced to accept that they had underestimated a species whose ingenuity and courage defied expectations. The universe, vast and unpredictable, had delivered a lesson. Power, strategy, and technology alone do not guarantee victory. Sometimes boldness, adaptability, and intelligence are the true measures of capability. The story of this final part is a testament to the human spirit. The willingness to take risks, the ability to adapt, and the courage to act decisively under pressure. It is a story of victory earned not by overwhelming force but by cleverness, insight, and unyielding determination. The humans had not only claimed the Class 15 Deathworld ship, they had changed the way civilizations across the galaxy would perceive them. The encounter would be remembered as a defining moment, a demonstration that audacity, intelligence, and adaptability could overcome the most formidable challenges and leave an enduring legacy of respect, caution, and awe in their wake.